Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, Saka here, and welcome back to another episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season. We're in the 2019 mod with the 2020 car set here in race 2 of the season at Las Vegas, and as you can see, we are on the pole. Brandon is starting inside row 2 in that wreckingandracing.com podcast Toyota. Once again, if you're a fan of NASCAR and are listening to podcasts, check them out on all of your podcast dealers, wreckingandracing.com. So we are ready for 27 laps here at Las Vegas, waiting for the green flag, and here we go on the gas. Green flag is out. We've got Jimmy Johnson to our outside and looking good here. Last week's winner, William Byron, is in the pack somewhere. He's already solidified his spot in the championship run, and myself and Brandon are trying for our first win this year, as well as most everyone else. Brandon up top a little bit, trying to get beside Jimmy Johnson, and the pack is nice and tight. That should thin out back single file once the race continues on. 27 laps is very quick here at Las Vegas. We're hitting sub 30-second laps in the 28 to 27-second range. So, you know, about 15 minutes or so for this race if we stay green, and Vegas is typically a green-looking race. Once everyone gets single-filed out, it's just mainly hanging on to your car, and on the initial start here, the car is pretty loose going into turn 1 and 3, so as long as we can keep the car under us and roll that speed on the top, we'll be fine. Speaking of on the top, Brandon fighting on the outside of Kevin Harvick there, driving in, and as long as they're too wide, we can maintain what we got, try to take care of our tires as best we can. Pit stops will probably come at the halfway point or just about, so at lap 13 or 14, and we're probably looking for a 4-tire change as tire wear is pretty even across all 4 tires during the run. And speaking of run, Kevin Harvick looking to our inside with a head of steam. So old Happy Harvick down to the inside. Brandon will follow him on the bottom. Right on our corner, we get a little loose in the middle of turn 1, keep the foot down, and we'll settle back into third. Jimmy Johnson looking to the inside, and here comes Tyler Reddick as well in that Caterpillar Camaro with Martin Truex Jr. right on our back bumper. So this race here will sort of show us where our championship contenders are going to run. With the plate tracks, anyone has an equal chance of running up front. Here, it's more about your horsepower and handling, and we can see that the players are definitely up front. Kyle Busch looking down there behind Eric Almirola as well. So we will run the top here. They still got our inside. We are looking for a hole. We might be able to get in behind Almirola, but Kyle Busch fills that spot up, and Alex Bowman follows him. We got Denny Hamlin beside him, and still not getting down to the bottom. Kyle with almost into us there. We sort of cut the corner a little bit tight. If we can get the drive off, we'll be fine. I'm sure Martin Truex Jr. is not happy with us holding up this outside lane. I don't know if he's faster than me, but he's definitely got nowhere to go. As these tires fall off, the AI will drop back to us just a bit. So Kevin Harvick still leads out front. Brandon looking right on that back bumper of Kevin Harvick in second. And we're running in the top 10. As pit stops cycle through, anything can happen. Pit road is easy to miss here at Vegas. You're carrying so much speed through turns 3 and 4, and it's a pretty sharp incline down into pit road. And we'll clear the bottom lane and settle in single file. If Hamlin and Bowman can keep running side by side, that'll allow us to reel in Kyle Busch just a bit. So put us in the top 10. Scrape the wall just a touch, no worse for the wear. And if Kyle can get a run on Almirola and go too wide, that will help us out a bit. And you can see Bowman really dropping back there. He had the fresh tire charge, and now looks like he's dropping back with the middle of the pack. Brandon scraping down there at the bottom will take the lead. So Brandon will lead his first laps this race, and we'll see if we can continue to press the attack on Kyle Busch. It looks like we're reeling him in. We just need to make sure not to overdrive the car too much, and I believe Kyle will come back to us here. Looking for that yellow just in case we are within the fuel window. It's not that we needed to pit at halfway because we're almost out of fuel. We only need to run about 5 or 6 laps and we can get within our fuel window. Tire is another question though, as if we pitted now, by the end of the run our tires would be pretty toast if we didn't take care of them. I like what I'm seeing in front though. Kyle Busch looking to the inside of Almirola. Almirola looking to the inside, getting back in line. As long as these guys are fighting one another, we can reel them in. And it looks like our turn 3 through turn 4 is much better than Kyle. If we can just maintain on his back bumper, we'll be fine. No pressure in the mirror, so those guys really fell off. I don't know if it was side-by-side racing that drew them back, but with Kyle Busch on the inside of Almirola, we can make good time here. Kyle sort of gets choked up on the bottom there. We'll maintain our line through turn 3 and 4 and try to get him inside turn 1 if we can get this drive off. Of course, if Kyle moves to pass Eric, that won't give us a whole lot of track to go. But right there, it looks like Kyle has really good exit speed. So we can get them on corner entry and they get us on corner exit. Kyle's sort of blocking both lanes here. We had to make an evasive maneuver looking to the outside. We lose a little bit of time there. We just have to pick and choose our battle on when we want to pass. And these guys are definitely fast, that is for sure. Yeah, we lose a little bit of ground off of turn 4, so we're losing some time on corner exit here. We'll try to make it up on corner entry going into 1. That looks to be our strongest point against the AI. And if we can just get a fender to the inside of Kyle, we'll be okay. Reddick looks to go to the inside there. I can't see exactly who he is trying to pass, but with Almirola right behind him, he's trying to pass Johnson. So it's a 4-car battle in a very tight-knit group. Brandon's starting to stretch the legs a little bit. Kevin Harvick follows suit. There goes Almirola looking to the inside, and once again, Kyle up top. We try to look to the inside. He moves down. We get into him just a little bit. So we are definitely faster than Kyle Busch. We just need to find a way around him. And Denny Hamlin making his way up to our rear bumper as well. I guess it was Bowman that was slowing up the line, and now that Hamlin is clear, Hamlin's getting a charge. But Reddick on the outside, Almirola and Kyle Busch will follow suit. We will follow Kyle to the inside, see if we can get a nose on the inside of Kyle. We can't, but we pass Reddick and get a good launch off of turn 2, trying to get to the inside of Kyle Busch. Can't quite do it. We are just within a tenth of Kyle Busch here or there. It's going to be a minor mistake that will allow either Kyle to drop back or me to drop back, one of the two. But we are pretty even Steven going into turn 1. We should be able. No, Kyle goes to the inside of Almirola, screws up our charge. I tell you what, getting around Kyle is definitely tough here. He's trying to get around Almirola while we're trying to get around him, and that's a dangerous position to be in. We sort of force Kyle up. He looks to the inside. We put our fender there, and Kyle does give us the lane. About time. Maybe we can stretch out and be faster than Kyle when it's all said and done. We'll arc it into turn 1 and see what our gap looks like off of turn 2. And indeed, Kyle Busch drops back a bit as Reddick goes to pass. So yeah, we were much faster than Kyle Busch. He was almost slowed down by Almirola, then we got him offline. Brandon is definitely not slowing down, however, extending that lead to 3 to 4 car lengths. And we're reeling in Almirola, definitely off of turn 4. That was a really good set of corners for us. If Almirola doesn't look to the inside, we may be able to get a fender down and force him up. Good run on the bottom of 1 and 2. We definitely got hooked up there. And beside Eric going into turn 3, we should be able to complete this pass off of turn 4. So riding in 4th now, Brandon goes to pit. So Brandon is the first on pit road. Kevin Harvick will lead this lap. We'll take advantage of Jimmy Johnson not getting off the turn well and settle into 2nd with pit stops left to make. If the caution comes out now, Brandon may be in the catbird seat. As long as he doesn't get pinned a lap down, he can stay out under that caution and get back when everyone else gets to pit road. I'm going to be a little bit leery here. If Brandon's pitting, yes indeed, Kevin Harvick looks to pit road, we're going to be out front and have open track to pit. So I'm thinking this lap, we're going to come in for 4 tires and fuel. Not a whole lot of fuel needed, but definitely we need the handling of 4 tires, and we're going to be a little bit conservative on the entry because it looks like there's no one behind us. So we need to, you know, make what we've got, but just don't screw it up. All right, getting into turn 3 here, we're looking for the hash marks on the left-hand side for the 3, 2, 1. There we go. There's the start of pit road, and 3, 2, 1, and pit road time starts there. 4,000 in second gear. A little bit conservative here. We don't want to speed, and you can see that the AI are also taking 4 tires. Left side tires are on, and we need these guys to be gone by the time we get up to our stall. We'll let the 34 in. Get to the inside here. There goes Truex, and is Johnson going to be gone? Yes, indeed. That will clear up a spot for us. And hit our marks. 4 tires and fuel, boys. Let's go. Right sides are on. We need a clean left side. There's a car going out to the outside, looking for anyone we might recognize. Down and away, here we go, and pit road speed ends there, and we can get up to speed. Trying to pick up speed here, looking in the mirror. There goes Brandon, Harvick, and Almirola, so that will be first, second, and third. Here comes 4th place, Kyle Busch. 5th place, is that Stenhouse? What in the world? Okay, so Stenhouse apparently had a good series of pit stops here. We'll settle in behind Logano. So pit stops have filtered through. We've lost a lot of time. As you can see, we were kind of within a few seconds of Brandon before the pit stop, and after the pit stop, we came out a little bit further back. So we need to press the attack while we can and see if we can reel in Joey Logano. So if the yellow flag were to come out now, I wouldn't be too upset. We would get right on the back bumper of these guys and go for it. Otherwise, we're going to have to start clawing our way back. Looking in our mirror, I can't see exactly who that is behind us with the white front end. I'm thinking maybe it's Bowman. I'm used to Bowman being in another set of colors there. He's in the Valvoline colors, though, so I think that's him. But we are reeling in Logano. Feeling pretty good about that. Yes, indeed, with some open track here, we can really stretch our legs here and see if we can reel in the cars in front of us. Very fast race here at Vegas for sure. They're side by side behind Brandon. That will help him extend his lead and bring them back to us. If those guys continue to stay side by side, this whole pack may get up depending on how much is left in the race. Sort of clipped the apron there. Not an ideal line, but definitely gaining on Logano as laps tick down here side by side. Man, even the guys running side by side, there they go. They've completed the pass. We've reeled them in a bit, but Hamlin on the inside of Stenhouse is nice. We can definitely do some stuff with that. If Logano drops back to us, we can capitalize, and indeed it does look like we may be able to make up a few spots here depending on how many laps are left. No flag in the air yet, so at least 2 laps to go. And it looks like Bowman is sort of getting smaller in the mirror, which is good. And yeah, very good turn 1 for us. We can grip the bottom, massive run through turn 2. We may be able to set up Logano here going into turn 1 if we can get a good turn 4 exit. Yeah, right on the back bumper of Logano now. We are much, much faster. Let's set that up if we can. White flag is in the air. 1 more lap to go, and we are right behind Logano. We'll take the apron. That's the legal move. See if we can roll under the 47 as well. Now he comes down, so we'll get 1 spot. We may be able to get the 2nd by the time we get on the front stretch. And Brandon is being hounded by, it looks like, Almirola. So the race is not over yet, or that is Harvick. He is right there. We'll get under the 47, a little tap to get him offline, and we will complete that pass and come across in 6th place. And Brandon will get the win, his first win of the year, and solidify his place in the championship battle. And that was definitely coming down to the wire. We found a good balance for the AI, I think. It was definitely a race the whole way through. Let's take a look at Brandon's battle up front. And that was Almirola behind him. Does Harvick make that pass? Yeah, it sort of looks like they were side by side, and then the last couple laps, Harvick was right there fighting hard. The Stewart-Haas guys right behind. Brandon really scraping in. Almost gave up the bottom there with Harvick, and that is nuts how close that is off the corner. Brandon driving as hard as he could, but getting the win when it was all said and done. Congratulations, Brandon. Back to victory lane. So let's take a look at the standings after Vegas. Brandon and William Byron have wins this year. We are 27 to the good, leading the guys that don't have wins yet, 3 positions over Kyle Busch. Chris Buescher is your cutoff driver. And, yeah, Bubba Wallace 1 back, Logano 1 back, John Hunter Nemechek 3 back, Jones 4 back, but it's still a tight battle from, 13th down to 20th with just 10 spots. So the 16th spot is still up for grabs, and we continue our West Coast swing next week with California, the very fast D-shaped oval. But that will do it for me and this episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week for California. Take care.